What's up guys, this is Quante and welcome back to more Let's Play Sonic the Hedgehog 2. In the last episode, we completed the Hilltop Zone and the Mystic Cave Zone. I actually remember what I did in the last episode. Hooray! And I actually know what's coming after, this zone, so hooray for that as well. Mainly because I just played the game when I was in a Skype call once, mainly because I was just kinda bored. And wait! Oh, Skype's offline! So no one will be calling me during this episode, and if they do, well, they're not gonna get an answer. But yeah, that just makes this episode 10 times better, because I'm not getting Skype calls or anything. And pretty much all I've done during this LP is talk about how good the game is, even though that's not a bad thing actually, because that actually shows that I actually legitimately like the game and have a connection with it, which is something most people like when watching LPs. You don't want to see someone doing an LP of a game that they don't enjoy, because that sort of defeats the purpose of it, in my opinion. Why LP a game that you don't like, unless it's sort of like, I guess, a joke? I don't really know. It was sort of like how the great Clement did an LP of Mega Man X6, despite the fact that he hates it so much. I guess just to show off why he thought it was a bad game, but I don't know. Everyone has their reasons and opinions on everything. And wow, that's actually firing really, really fast. Those things sort of remind me of the blast barrels, or whatever you call them in Donkey Kong Country, considering the fact that I did just get done LPing Donkey Kong Country 2. But this might actually be a short LP now that I think about it. I mean, this is the 4th part, and this is like the 7th zone, I think. So that just makes me realize how sort of short this game is. Because when I played this game, like, in one sit-in, it just feels really long. But this game, I just noticed, really isn't that long at all. Same thing with most Sonic games. Like, they're just not long at all. And the Sonic 4, yeah, the Sonic 4 series doesn't fix that at all. Mainly because the Sonic 4 series, both of the Sonic 4 games all have 4 zones. Versus, like, this game's, I'm not even sure, like... Well, I'm on the 7th one, so that already beats 4. So yeah, there we go. But Sonic games have never really been long, but I guess Sega just wanted to jump on the bandwagon with Sonic 4. Because they were just like, oh, Mario, Donkey Kong, they all have their own games, so, why don't we make a new Sonic game and, sort of, not copy them, but I guess jump on the bandwagon. I'm not saying that they sloppily put it together and just put it out there, but I guess that's what most people thought, I never really found the Sonic 4 series that bad. Not even Episode 1. I mean, I don't think Episode 1 is terrible, but I still prefer Sonic Episode 2 over it. I don't really know. Well, that's because Episode 2 is a lot like this game in so many ways. Like, even one of the zones is called Oil Desert, which is basically a direct throwback to this zone. If not, just like, I'm not really sure. But it's basically sort of the same concept, just twisted around a little bit. Which is sort of the thing with, most of the later Sonic games. It's just like the same thing, just kind of twisted around a little bit. Which I will admit, at least it's sort of a little bit more original than Mario. Because I'm kind of getting tired of the whole formula of Mario where they have, like, the same atmospheres. I mean, it's not the same levels, but the atmosphere is sort of exactly the same. Like, you have grassland, desert, beach, snowland, and then, that same formula keeps going on. But I mean, they could take Mario into, like, a space world, or, like, just practically anything, or sort of blend some new elements into it, because it kind of feels the same. Even though it's not the same, it's just that some people do legitimately think it's the same, so I think they should change some things around a little bit or something. I'm not really sure. My logic is kind of screwy, but I don't really know. That's just the way I feel. Not saying that I have anything wrong with Mario games at all, because I love Mario, it's my favorite series, but I have a feeling people are kind of feeling like, oh, it's just the same game with new levels. Because that's how it is with the new Super Mario Bros. Series, it just feels exactly the same. Even though it's not, but I mean, that's just the way people are gonna see it if, they keep on seeing something that it looks like they've seen before. And that's sort of how it is with Sonic. People see it as being exactly the same and they want Sega to make some new stuff. And I guess I could see where they're going with that. How did I die? I have not the slightest idea. And I just noticed the text for like the rings and stuff was sort of lit up in a weird color. I don't even know. I don't even know. I didn't talk about this zone like that much at all. I just sort of went willy-nilly with that whole explanation and stuff. Oh well. Hope people are still actually like enjoying the commentary. Sorry I went on a tangent about, you know, the worlds in Mario, even though it sort of went back into a Sonic discussion. And now I have to do this over again. I shouldn't have died. And there was a checkpoint back there on those slides. I should have gotten that. That's gonna make this episode even longer. Sorry to say. This actually might be a little bit more of a lengthy episode compared to the other ones, mainly because this, the next zone in particular is sort of unique in terms of length, but even the levels in the next zone are pretty long, so I want to get this over with as fast as I can. Shouldn't have died. And I only have one life left. That's because of the chemical plant boss that I died so much to. You know, that's sort of why I have about one life on me right now, but there's a checkpoint, but if I die, there's not going to be any way to come back, so I better do as good as I can on the boss. I used to actually have trouble with this boss, but that was only because I used to actually just go and hit the boss once, and then just like not hit it ever again. You can actually hit this boss quite a few times, like in one go. But this boss, I just had a lot of trouble with as a kid, you know, mainly because of that laser. You know, I hate the laser. But I think you can get Eggman down in about 3 go-arounds, I guess. Because I could have gotten him down in that one, I guess. I'm not really sure. Just don't like the laser, though. Because sometimes the laser goes by really fast. Oh god, those sort of quick reflexes. Oh well. Oh, I thought it was gonna fire again, because I just kind of picked that time to scratch my nose. But he's down. Okay. And on to the next one. Ooh, we saved baby seals! Hopefully they don't get captured by birds of prey. Or maybe the seals should be eating the penguins? Maybe those are leopard seals cramped in there with the penguins, and then when we open the capsule, a whole bunch of bones flies out, and oh, the penguins, and the seals eating the penguins. Dang nature, you scary! But we're on Metropolis Zone after 7 minutes, which is disappointing. I suck at this game, guys. But yeah, Metropolis Zone is actually sort of one of those repetitive feeling zones. Like, if you remember in a previous episode, I said that sort of didn't like Sonic 1 as much because the zones sort of felt repetitive because you have like 3 acts per zone, and that's sort of how this zone is, because this zone actually does have 3 acts. So each of the acts actually is really kind of lengthy, so it just kind of feels like you're going around in the same place for a really long time. Because I guess this one is really short, but the other 2 I'm always stuck in for about like 3 minutes each or more. I'm not really sure. Especially because of these right here, these screws. I really just do not like the screw gimmick, and I found out recently that if you spin dash into these, you can make them go up a lot faster. But when I was a kid, I used to just run up them. Like, I don't know why, but it was really slow trying to get up these things. Mainly because if you're running up them, you're probably going up on them like about the speed that I'm doing the spin dash on. But sometimes if you do the spin dash, it'll make it go up a lot faster, I guess. I'm not really too sure on that. I'm not really too sure on anything in this episode. My logic is just screwy today. Ooh, I better get down there, because I think that's the end. No, that's not the end. I think the end is near here. That's what I should have said. But Metropolis Zone, actually, even though it looks like it should be the last zone, it's not. I'm not gonna say what's after it, but I mean, they sort of give you the impression that this is Eggman's, like, you know, his base of operations, where things are going down, you know. Crap's about to go down, man. But it's actually not. Despite the fact that they gave you 3 zones. I guess that's another thing, too. You know, they make you play through 3 different zones to sort of make it feel like, okay, I'm at the end, you know, this is becoming really long. And I guess that's a good thing. And then they sort of trick you, and they're like, nuh-uh, it's not the last zone. You still have some more. Still got some more. And we gotta continue. You can get continues, like, I guess, after certain levels are done. Not certain levels, I guess you have to meet a certain requirement, like, get a bunch of rings or get a bunch of points or something like that. And I guess I just did that in, you know, that level. It's easy to get, really easy to get those on Emerald Hill Zone. I practically get one like every time I play this game, so I don't really have to worry about a game over or anything. And continues, I never actually explained those, but in this game, you don't really have a save feature. That's pretty much how it is for all the classic Sonic games. They're sort of more like arcade games, if you will, because you don't really have a save feature at all. Like, if I was to cut the game off right now, I'd probably have to start all the way over. And I guess there are certain cheat codes you can put in to, like, go to a certain zone right away, but I guess that's sort of the same thing with, you know, the whole arcade style of gameplay. And that's how Mario was for a while, too, you know, before Super Mario World, you know, it's the exact same thing. You know, no save feature or any of that, so I guess that's sort of a familiar thing. I'm surprised none of that just killed me. Except I just walked right into a crab meat. And what? That was sort of a glitch. And ooh, well, I guess I gotta use one of these continues. Oh, I suck at this game. I'm thinking maybe I'm just gonna cut, because this is gonna be a lengthy episode anyway, so I guess I'll just meet you guys back where I was. Because it's gonna take a while to do all this. Okay guys, we're back, and I just decided to take a different path other than, you know, going on, you know, those corkscrew things that you have to spin dash up. Even though you don't have to spin dash up, but I just don't like those things. This is one of the reasons why this isn't really my favorite zone, you know? Using those screws, or those bolts, I'm not really sure. Like, these things, these bolts, to get up is just one of the most tedious things. And that's sort of the reason why I don't think I ever got past this zone as a kid. Because this is about as far as I got in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 when I was smaller. Because I used to play it a lot, but I just never got past this zone. I just didn't like it. I think I got to Act 3. I don't know how I didn't beat Act 3. I guess I just always continuously got game overs at a certain part or something. Even though it's kind of easy to get continues. You can get continues really easily through special stages as well. I never really said that. But I think, like, if you get a certain amount of coins in special stages, I mean, did I just say coins? Let's say, you get a certain amount of rings in special stages, you get continues. I think that counts for this game, Sonic 1 and Sonic 3 actually. You know, I'm not sure if you can get them as easily as you can in this game, but I'm probably sure you can. I'm not really sure. Not sure about anything. I need to stop saying that. That's sort of just becoming a new thing. It's just, I'm just gonna label the episode as I'm not really sure, because I'm not sure. Huh. But that's Act 2. My god. I'm at 14 minutes. Minus all the babbling that I was doing, like, after I got the game over. But whatever. In Metropolis Act 3. We're finally here. And this is, I think, the one with the corkscrews that you have to do. So, that's a joyous thing. It just takes so long. I don't really like it. I don't know. Like every other zone in this game except for this one. I guess this game isn't perfect at all, but I guess there's one thing about one of your favorite games that you don't like, and I guess in this game for me it's Metropolis. I mean, it doesn't bother me too much. I guess it's just sort of a nitpicky thing, if anything. Not really something I don't legitimately like. I just guess it'd be easier to get on with it. That's sort of the mood I get when playing Sonic, though. It's just like, get on with it and make everything go faster. Even though that's not what Sonic is all about. And that's sort of the mentality people get when playing Sonic, is just, gotta go fast, when it's really more about the platforming than anything. You know, that's why I like Sonic 2 in general, mainly because they sort of kept the aspect of gotta go fast along with platforming, and blended it in really nicely, you know? Because it seemed like Sonic 1, it was more platform heavy, And then you have this game, which sort of blended it all together, where you have speed and platforming. And then Sonic 3 is just sort of like, I guess, I'm not gonna say it's any worse or any better. It's just like sort of, I guess, going along on the same formula. Even though I think Sonic 3 is actually slightly faster than this game. You know, you go a lot faster in Sonic 3. So Sonic just gets gradually faster in, you know, every game. Why did I have the need to say that twice? I don't know. Gradually faster. Oh well. But hopefully we'll come up on the end pretty soon, you know. Here's the corkscrew part. I'm gonna see if... I think a tailspin dash is on this thing too. It makes it go a lot faster as well. Yeah, look at that. You know, we got up here. And if you press back on the control pad, I guess it'll stop it. Instead of you having to jump to stop the corkscrew, you know, you can just press back and then you can sort of stop it that way. And I'm gonna run up this one because I know this one has a certain dead-end spot, and I just didn't want to miss that and fall all the way down and have to do the whole, you know, corkscrew segment all over again. And I always die here because I always get too, like, impatient, and then I always jump off, you know, because this thing takes you across. I do that every time I play this game. Okay, well, get all the rings you can here, because this boss, it isn't hard, but it isn't easy either. Because he has a shield around himself, and you sort of have to hit it around the right time where, you know, those little egg-like things aren't circling around his eggmobile, I guess you could say. But I have no idea why he needed to modify his eggmobile to do this, because it sort of almost looks exactly the same. I guess for the whole magnetism effect, but still. This is a really easy boss though, but after you get rid of basically his shield, he'll go into an all-out offense mode and start firing lasers, but he only takes one hit afterwards, so you're pretty much okay at this part. Unless you don't have any rings, then, you know, things get really hard. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Let's Play Sonic the Hedgehog 2, because kinda didn't go as well as I had planned, but at least we got it over with. And so now we're in the Sky Chase Zone, and I have to pause the game. Yay for that. But I guess I'll see you guys in the next episode of Let's Play Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and that could actually possibly be the finale. I don't know. This LP went by really fast, but I'll see you guys then.